Coming to you from his studio in downtown San Francisco, this is the Backstage Bay Area podcast. And now, here's your host, Steve Roby.
Hey, greetings from San Francisco. This is Backstage Bay Area. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Roby. The East Bay continues to produce artists who bring fresh perspective to songcraft, and our guest today is one of them. August Lee Stevens is a Bay Area multi-instrumentalist and songwriter whose music blends folk, jazz, and soul with sharp lyrics about the world we're living in now. She's performed with artists including Smokey Robinson and Rhiannon Giddens, and this week she'll headline 4 shows at SFJAZZ's Joe Henderson Lab. August Lee Stevens joins me now. August, welcome to Backstage Bay Area.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you could be here. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Me too.
Where am I reaching you today?
I'm in Oakland, sunny Oakland, California today.
All right, just right across the bay from us.
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, for listeners who may be new to your work and in our audience, can you talk about your Bay Area roots and the musical influences that shaped you?
I grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up in Hercules, California. Shout out to the Deep East Bay, and then went to school at Oakland School for the Arts for middle and high school. So a lot of my musical influences and really my path into performing arts, into performing live and creating music myself was through Oakland School for the Arts. And the alumni that we have at that school, along with my peers that we have at the school, I was just constantly surrounded by inspirations. Even the teachers, like everyone was an active artist and everyone was actively in the music scene. So I was just constantly surrounded by all of that.
So who were some of the musical influence that grabbed you early on?
I have to shout out Kava Menzies. She's very notable Bay Area musical artist, choir director, teacher. She introduced us to a lot of just what it means to arrange and what it means to work professionally. She was a teacher there. Kev Choice is also one of our teachers in the piano program, because I was in the instrumental program for a while. Emily Tien, also shout out. So those are some of the big ones. And then our alumni, we had like Kaylani as an alumni and Zendaya as an alumni. We were really lucky to have different artists come in. The Escovedo family would come in at some points. We had Wynton Marsalis come in at different points. So it's just like a lot of the range was incredible of who would come in to speak to us and who was involved with the school. Tank and the Bangas came to visit us at one point. So it was just like very Bay Area in the sense that it was so diverse in the different influences that came about and that were actively involved with the school and with nurturing the students and nurturing the environments. Dave Grohl came one time. I sang with him. So yeah, it was very Bay Area. And then my own influences just growing up with my parents' music, really, like they were really big into Motown music because my mom was from Detroit and my dad's from Louisiana. So like a lot of Motown and jazz in the house. And then me as a young girl in the early 2000s discovered Hannah Montana, and that became my shining star.
So a wide variety of DNA music in your roots.
Yeah.
So your music brings together folk, jazz, and soul in ways that feels very natural. What kind of sound were you hoping to create by bringing those elements together?
That's a good question. I mean, really, that kind of goes back to the influences. Like I was saying, I grew up listening to all of my parents' music. Lauryn Hill was a big influence. And then in high school, I got really into Hozier. And from Hozier, I got really into folk Irish music. When I started to actually write my own music, I started to just write what I was hearing and what I was influenced by. And who else? Leanne LaHavis was a really big influence for me. I feel like we have similar weights in our voices. So I feel like I was able to learn how to control my voice through listening to her. And so when it was time for me to write these melodies, it was me revisiting what I was familiar with and what I was comfortable with, and just making it feel natural. So maybe that's why like it felt natural to me, or I wouldn't feel like the song was completed until it actually did feel natural to me.
Talk about your songwriting personally. Briefly, could you tell our audience what goes into your process there? You know, For some, it's the melody first. For some, it's the lyrics. For some, it might have been, what you had for breakfast,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it changes, but most consistently, I write a lot when I'm driving, honestly.
Right,
Any kind of driving, showering, like activities where your body knows what to do, but your brain can kind of disconnect. And
right.
it's more so just I have repeated phrases that I've heard throughout the week or repeated things that I want to say
Mm,
throughout the
mm,
week. And that's the moment where it'll find the melody. It's almost like the melody is swirling around somewhere inside of me, and then it just takes whatever the catalyst is for them to merge together. And then at that point, it's kind of melody and lyric at the same time. Sometimes I will write lyrics first, or I have continuous lyrics and journals that they'll
mm,
find a
mm.
home eventually. But I think the songs that come the most naturally to me are when I have that phrase or just like the word use and it finds a melody that feels like home for it.
Right. So are you
Yeah.
one of those songwriters that puts it in a notebook or just opens up their phone and speaks it into an app?
I do both. Usually if I'm like out and about, it's just easier to do it in the phone. I have thousands of voice memos and
Yeah.
they're all crackly because I'm walking around in a park or I'm like at the grocery store or something and I'm
Yeah.
like, I have this idea that I just need to get out.
You got to get it
Um,
down. Yeah.
Yeah, then when I'm come to the actual writing and completing the song, I'll move it to a notebook because it's just easier to scribble out and, like, connect words and stuff like that, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about your latest track. It's called Tell Me. It feels urgent and emotionally direct. What sparked that song and what did you want it to say?
That's one example of just words that kept repeating in my head. The title obviously is "Tell Me," and that's something that's almost yelled at the end, and it was a plea, and it was really just an expression and an explosion of anger that I was holding in because I was looking at everything that was happening around me and happening in the world, and it felt like I was becoming apathetic as a result or, like, as an effort to keep myself emotionally safe, which I understand, but then it gets to a point where you're no longer moved by the tragedy and
Mm,
by
mm,
everything that's going on. And it felt like even in my own group of friends and family, the conversations were kind of going around, beating around the bush, not wanting to fully dive into the actual hurt and the pain of it because it gets tiring and overwhelming. But my fear with that is that we get to a point where we're pushing back so much against the hard emotions that we then become calloused. So that's what the song is about, is really
mm,
just like a
mm.
plea to continue speaking about it. And that's just the burden that we have to take on. And that's a light burden compared to everything that everyone that's being affected by. Like the song is about wars that are going on and just like tragedy that's going on around the world. So
Absolutely.
if the least we can do is be uncomfortable and emotionally disturbed, then like that's what we need to do. So yeah.
Well said. And
Yeah.
let's hear it now. This is Tell Me by August Lee Stevens here on Backstage Bay Area.
They say change is a sign of the times that are coming. And I'm scared for the day that my words will mean nothing. Well, I've tried to tell you why I've taken this chance. No apologies, I really want you to care. Tell me something, change it right now. No protection, breaking me down. Time keeps taking, there's no price we can pay. Don't make it hard. All these visions of violence in my head is twisted Oh, tell me honestly how you dream if you don't listen. Well, I've tried to change your mind, but I think it's swayed. No apologies, I really want you to care. Tell me something, change it right now. No protection, breaking me down. Time keeps taking, there's no price we can pay. Tell me something, change it right now. No protection, breaking me down. Time keeps taking, there's no price we can pay. Don't make it hard on me, hard on me. I'm walking hard. Ooh, don't make it hard on me, hard on me. I'm walking
That was Tell Me from August Lee Stevens. August is my guest today on Backstage Bay Area. August, you spent the last year headlining your own shows and performing at the Kennedy Center as part of the Oakland Rising Collective. How have those larger experiences shaped the way you approach your own music and your live performances?
Oh, that's a good question. I think especially with shows like the Kennedy Center, that was for many reasons I'm sure you are aware of. Like that
Yeah.
was a very
The former Kennedy Center, I should say.
the former Kennedy Center, we should say.
It'll always be the Kennedy Center. Come on.
To the artists, it will be the Kennedy Center,
Yeah.
but we will hold that legacy separate from what it is now.
Enough said.
Enough said. But yeah, I think that decision itself came with a lot of weight because of the timing of it. And it was a moment where I felt like I'm writing about these things, I'm talking about these things. Now I'm being presented this opportunity to take a stage at the Kennedy Center, which obviously has a lot of just political discussion around it. And it felt like one of the first times where I could take a stage in a place where I knew the politics were not going to agree with how I felt. And it kind of brought some weight to the performance, and I appreciated the opportunity because of that, because it felt like, okay, it's one thing for me to perform around the Bay Area and perform around Oakland and San Francisco, where I know that most people, at least that are coming to my shows, are like-minded in the politics and
Certainly.
the ethos. But going to the Kennedy Center at that time during this current administration, where they were telling publicly that they didn't want to have voices, they didn't want to have young Black women in the place. So it was a chance for me to, I don't want to say take a stand, I just feel like that's not fully what I'm trying to say, but it was a chance for me to have some actual weight and consequences associated with my music. I think from that opportunity to now, it's just opened, it's made me think about it more.
I'm sure.
It's made me take more time about, like, what am I writing? What am I saying? What do I actually want to say? And when I am given these bigger platforms, how am I using them? And am I holding integrity for what I truly believe and what I'm projecting out
Right.
and creating. So it was a mindset change, I think. And
Right.
it just, yeah, I'm rambling, but you
No,
understand what I'm trying to
I
say.
completely understand it. It sounds like it was
Yeah,
a moving experience for you in many ways.
exactly.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Let's pivot
Yeah.
and talk about your album, Live at the Troubadour. One of the songs from that release is getting a lot of attention. It's called Citrus. What made that song stand out to you, and why did it feel important to highlight it from this live set?
Oh, Citrus was a song that speaking of like my writing process, driving and walking, I was walking my dog and that the melody, I think just the rhythm of the walking kind of
Yeah.
created this melody in my head. But the actual lyrics and the story behind it was me really reflecting and honoring the women in my family. So I have a lyric where I'm talking about Eileen, no one smiles like Eileen, and that was referencing my grandmother, Eileen Stevens. And my mom and my sister, my grandmother, they've all had so many curveballs, to say the least, thrown at them in their lives. And you wouldn't really know it because of the amount of joy that they exude and the amount of joy that they create in their families, in me, in their community. You would have no idea. You would have thought they grew up super happy and just like with perfect lives. So I wanted to write about that and write about that legacy because it's just something so beautifully powerful in that ability to create. The pun is like creating lemonade out of lemons, so that's why it's called Citrus. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's actually a really beautiful play written titled Citrus by Celeste Jennings, who's a young playwright. And her play is also about that legacy of grandmothers and Black women in the United States going from modern day back until like civil rights era. And so I took that idea and applied it to my own family and looked at the specifics of it.
Interesting. Well, let's listen to now. And when we return, I'll ask August about her upcoming SFJAZZ shows. This is Citrus from Live at the Troubadour here on Backstage Bay Area.
Mama didn't raise no fool. Took some time for me to show it. Running around, can't tell me what to do. I got caught up in the moment. No one's got a smile like Eileen. Hope I end up just as steady. Took the pain and made it clean. She really knew how to make it all. You could make it all smooth like water, sweet like citrus running down your skin. I wanna take some time to know ya. Oh, won't you please let me come home again? I don't really mind the change. Ooh, we run in circles, it's the same. You can't hold on to that heavy weight. Oh, just let the past be the past, and you learn how to make it smooth like water, sweet like citrus running down your skin. I wanna take some time to know ya. Oh, won't you please let me come home again? Oh, no one ever told me, no one ever told me to take old things and throw them in the water. Said no one ever told me, no one ever told me to take old things and throw them in the water. Smooth like water, sweet like citrus running down your skin, down your skin. I wanna take some time to know ya. Won't you please let me come home again? Oh, I wanna take some time to know ya. Oh, won't you please let me come home again? Oh, smooth like water, 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 smooth like water.
That was Citrus from the album Live at the Troubadour. August Lee Stevens is my guest today on Backstage Bay Area. August, let's pivot now to your upcoming shows and the SFJAZZ dates. You're going to be headlining 4 shows in the Joe Henderson Lab.
Ooh, yes.
Is this one? Is this your debut there? And what can the audience expect from the live set in that room?
Ooh, so this is not my debut. I actually debuted last year as part of the Noise Pop Festival.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I mean, I think it's just as special to be asked to come back for a second time. I'm like, wow. So it's a return, I guess, to the SFJAZZ Center and what people can expect. There will be some new music. So I have just obviously been writing and living my life, so that means there's more songs that are coming up. But there's some new music that I'm working on, and then just the set as a whole has been revamped and reconstructed and re-envisioned, and I'm really excited to show it. I have a full band. I'll actually have some backup vocalists too. So I'm excited to present the songs as close to my initial vision as possible to an audience, and yeah, it'll be lovely. There'll be lots of puns. I can't help myself on stage. So
Oh no.
yeah.
Can you tell us, unless it's a really long list, who's going to be joining you on stage for these shows?
Sure, I'll do a really quick shout out. So on drums, we have Ben Ard of the Ard family, super creative musical family. They just did the Bay Area Gospel Competition. Carl Nash on the keys. We have Elias Lozano on the bass, Jesus Rico on guitar. And then we'll have Micaiah Dempsey from Melodious and Frankie Maiston on background vocals.
Well, you got that stage filled.
Yes, I don't know how we're going to fit, but we'll figure it out.
If anybody in the audience has never been to the Joe Henderson Lab, I would say it's about a maybe 20-foot stage.
Yeah, it's pretty small, so.
But it's pretty cool there. I mean, you've got all that artwork on the glass, and you've got the city vibe going by you with the cars and the fire engines and the ambulances, and so it's really energetic to perform there.
No, I love it there. And yeah, like you said, the window behind the stage is just open. So you can see the whole streets of San Francisco, and you can see people walking by, putting their ear to the glass. It's really, I love that venue.
When you perform in an intimate setting like the Joe Henderson Lab, where the audience is so close to the music, what are you hoping to create in that space?
I think the thing that I search for with performances is the ability to, one, get lost in the performance, get lost in the music, and then 2, feel the connection with the audience. I don't want it to just be, you buy a ticket, I sing at you, and you go home. You know, I want it to be more of like, we're creating this moment in this space together. I do force people to sing along with me. I have some songs with like audience participation,
so
but
we've got to practice. Okay,
you got to practice. Just do a little like warm up in the shower, and you're all good. Yeah.
Pick up all your albums first, and then practice.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
So
yeah, I like to have that community and just create a feeling of being in the moment together.
Nice. Are you going to bring any merchandise with you?
I'll have some merch. My friend Goran Simon, he designed this merch for my song Citrus, and so we'll have that available. It might have a little fun surprise for people too, but you'll have to come to see what that is.
Okay, a little teaser in there. Will the audience get? I know it's a short window after the first show, but will they get a chance to have their merch signed or little meet and greet?
Yeah, for definitely after the second set. So there's 2 sets each night. The first set, they're a little bit stricter with the time because they want to make sure that we can clear it out. But second set, I will be around to say hi. I love saying hi to people because I don't wear my glasses on stage, so I can't see anything up there. I'll be around after the second set each night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Let me remind our listeners, you can catch August Lee Stevens at the Joe Henderson Lab at the SFJAZZ Center in San Francisco. She'll perform 2 shows on Saturday, April 4th at 7 and 8:30 p.m. and 2 shows on Sunday, April 5th at 6 p.m. It looks like my copy's wrong. 6 and 7:30 p.m. Is that right?
Yes, 6 and 7:30 p.m.
Okay,
on Sunday.
yeah. And my recommendation, a tip from Steve Roby, is get there early because it's open seating, and they've got some seats reserved for the donors there. But if you get there early enough and get kind of front place in line, you'll get a good seat. There's really not a bad seat in the house, but there's only 100 seats. So get tickets early, line up early, and enjoy the show. For tickets and more information on the show, visit sfjazz.org. And for more on August Lee Stevens and her latest music, visit her website, augustleestevens.com. Both links will be included in the podcast show notes. August, this was fun. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing more about your music and these upcoming shows.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Backstage Bay Area will be right back after these important messages.
Are you a jazz musician preparing for a run in San Francisco? The Backstage Bay Area podcast wants to help tell your story. We are currently filling our guest lineup with the artists keeping the jazz scene alive. If you have dates booked at a local club or concert hall, let's get you on the mic to discuss your latest work. Connect with us directly. Send an email to backstage.sfbay@gmail.com. Just let us know when you'll be playing in San Francisco. That's backstage.sfbay@gmail.com.
Backstage Bay Area is dedicated to keeping jazz alive in the 415 by spotlighting the artists, presenters, and venues that sustain this music. The most meaningful way to support local jazz is simple. Show up, buy a ticket, and experience the music live. Visit BackstageBayArea.com and explore our upcoming concerts section, featuring both a weekly guide and a weekend guide to jazz shows across the region, plus the latest concert news. Thank you for keeping jazz alive in the 415.
You've been listening to the Backstage Bay Area podcast. Visit us on the web at BackstageBayArea.com. And don't forget to keep jazz alive in the 415.